Stop saying you're broke. Stop saying you're tired. Stop saying nothing ever works out for you, because every single word coming out of your mouth right now is building the life you're going to live tomorrow. And I'm not talking about some feel-good motivational nonsense. I'm talking about something way deeper that most people completely miss when they pray, when they speak, and when they think. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you is going to change everything. Look, I know what you're thinking. You've heard this before, right? The whole think positive thing, the law of attraction, manifestation, all that stuff. But here's what nobody tells you. There's actual proof that your words create your reality. Not just spiritual proof, not just religious texts. I'm talking about science, ancient wisdom, and real-life examples that you can't ignore. And when you understand how this actually works, especially when it comes to prayer, you'll never speak the same way again. You'll never pray the same way again. And you'll never look at your life the same way again. Here's the problem. Most people are walking around speaking death over their own lives, and they don't even realize it. They wake up and say, I'm so tired. They look at their bank account and say, I'm always broke. They face a challenge and immediately say, this is too hard for me. They pray these weak prayers like, God, if you could maybe help me, or I hope things get better. And then they wonder why their life never changes. They wonder why their prayers feel empty. They wonder why they keep experiencing the same problems over and over again. But here's the thing. Your words aren't just sounds that disappear into the air. They're not just vibrations that fade away. Your words are literally the blueprint for your reality. They're the seeds you plant every single day. And whatever you keep saying, whatever you keep declaring, whatever you keep praying, that's what's going to grow in your life. You can't plant apple seeds and expect oranges. You can't speak poverty and expect abundance. You can't pray doubt and expect faith to show up. And the crazy part, most people have no idea they're doing this. They don't realize that every complaint is a prayer for more problems. Every negative declaration is an invitation for more negativity. Every doubt-filled word is pushing away the very thing they want. They're creating their own reality with their mouth, and it's the exact opposite of what they actually want. Let me break this down for you because this goes deep, way deeper than most people realize. Let's start with the science first, then we'll get into the spiritual side, and then I'll show you exactly how to use this in your prayers and daily life. Scientists have done experiments on water. Yeah, water. Dr. Masaru Emoto did this famous study where he spoke different words over water, played different music near water, and even taped words onto containers of water. Then he froze the water and looked at the crystals under a microscope. The water that had positive words like love and gratitude spoken over it formed these beautiful, perfect crystals. The water that had negative words like hate and you make me sick spoken over it formed these ugly, broken, chaotic patterns. Now think about this. Your body is about 60% water. 60%. If words can change the molecular structure of water, what do you think your words are doing to your body? What do you think they're doing to your mind? What do you think they're doing to your spirit? Every time you say, I'm so stupid, every time you say, I'm ugly, every time you say, I'll never succeed, you're literally speaking that into the cells of your body. You're programming yourself at a molecular level, but it goes even deeper than that. Quantum physics has shown us something wild. Particles behave differently when they're being observed. The observer effect, just the act of observation changes reality at the quantum level. Now, if observation can change physical reality, imagine what declaration does. When you speak something, you're not just observing it, you're declaring it, you're commanding it, you're calling it into existence. There's this principle in quantum physics called superposition. It basically means that particles exist in all possible states until they're observed or measured. It's like reality is waiting for you to make a choice, to make a declaration, to collapse all those possibilities into one actual reality. Your words are literally collapsing infinite possibilities into one specific outcome. Every time you speak, you're choosing which version of reality you want to experience. Now let's talk about the spiritual side, because this is where it gets really powerful. Go back to the beginning, the very beginning, Genesis, the creation story. How did God create everything? With words, let there be light, and there was light. He didn't think light into existence. He didn't wish for light, he spoke it. Words created everything. The entire universe came into being through spoken words. And here's the part that most people miss. You were made in God's image. That means you have that same creative power. Your words have creative power, not as much as God's, obviously, but you have it. You were given the ability to speak things into existence in your own life. That's not blasphemy. That's literally what the Bible teaches. Proverbs says death and life are in the power of the tongue. Not death and life are influenced by the tongue. Not death and life are kind of related to the tongue. They're in the power of the tongue. Your tongue holds the power of life and death. Think about all the times in the Bible where words changed everything. When Jesus spoke to the storm, it stopped. When he spoke to the fig tree, it died. When he spoke to Lazarus, a dead man came back to life. Words have power, real, tangible, reality-changing power. And Jesus even said you will have whatever you say. Not whatever you think, not whatever you feel, whatever you say. This is why prayer is so powerful. But not just any kind of prayer. Not those weak, begging, doubt-filled prayers. Powerful, declarative, faith-filled prayers. When you pray, you're not just asking God for something. You're partnering with God to speak it into existence. You're aligning your words with his will. You're using the creative power he gave you to shape your reality according to his promises. But here's where most people mess up. They pray with their mouth, but doubt in their heart. They say, God, I believe you can heal me, and then immediately tell everyone, I'm so sick, I don't think I'll ever get better. They pray for provision and then constantly talk about how broke they are. They pray for peace and then spend all day complaining about their problems. You can't do that. You can't speak life in your prayers and then speak death the rest of the day. It doesn't work like that. James talks about this in the Bible. He says your tongue is like a rudder on a ship. The ship is huge, but this tiny rudder controls where the whole thing goes. Your tongue is tiny compared to your whole body, but it controls the direction of your entire life. A tiny spark can start a massive forest fire. Your words might seem small, but they can create massive results, good or bad. Let me give you some real examples. I've seen this play out over and over again. There was a guy who constantly said, I'll probably never get married. I'm just not that type of person. Guess what? He didn't get married. Not because he couldn't. Not because there was anything wrong with him. But because he kept declaring that reality over his life. He kept speaking it. He kept believing it. And it became his truth. I knew someone else who was broke, really struggling financially. But they started changing their words. Instead of saying, I'm so broke, they started saying, money flows to me easily. Instead of, I can't afford that, they started saying, that's not in my budget right now, but abundance is coming. It felt weird at first. It felt fake, but they kept doing it. And within 6 months, their entire financial situation changed. New job, unexpected money, opportunities coming out of nowhere, same person, different words, different reality. Here's another one. Someone dealing with anxiety and fear. Panic attacks all the time. They would constantly say, I'm so anxious. I can't handle this. Everything makes me panic. Then they learned about this principle. They started declaring, I am peaceful. I am calm. I can handle whatever comes my way every single morning, every single night, whenever anxiety started creeping in. And slowly over time, the panic attacks decreased. The anxiety loosened its grip. Their brain literally started rewiring itself based on what they were declaring. This isn't magic. This isn't some weird trick. This is how you were designed to operate. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. It means your brain can change and rewire itself based on your thoughts and behaviors. When you repeatedly say something, your brain starts looking for evidence that it's true. If you keep saying nothing ever works out for me, your brain will filter your experiences to prove that's true. It'll remember every failure and forget every success. But if you start saying things always work out for me, your brain will start noticing all the times things do work out. It'll find opportunities. It'll see solutions, same circumstances, different words, different focus, different results. This is why gratitude is so powerful. When you speak gratitude, when you declare, I'm thankful for what I have, your brain starts looking for more things to be grateful for. You train yourself to see abundance instead of lack. You train yourself to see blessings instead of problems. And the more you see it, the more you experience it. Let's talk about prayer, specifically because this is where the power really multiplies. When you pray, you're not just speaking into the physical realm, you're speaking into the spiritual realm. You're accessing a level of power that goes beyond natural laws. But you have to pray correctly. You have to pray with faith. You have to pray with authority. You have to pray declaratively. Look at how Jesus prayed. He didn't beg. He didn't plead. He didn't say, Father, if you could maybe possibly help me out here. He spoke with authority. Lazarus, come forth. Not Lazarus, would you mind coming out if that's okay? No, a command, a declaration. He knew who he was. He knew the power he had. And he used his words to change reality. You need to pray the same way, not arrogantly, not presumptuously, but with confidence in who God is and what he's promised you. When you pray for healing, don't say, God, I hope you heal me. Say, by your stripes, I am healed. I declare healing over my body right now. When you pray for provision, don't say, God, I really need money. Say, God, you own everything. You supply all my needs. I declare provision and abundance in my life. When you pray for peace, don't say, I wish I wasn't so anxious. Say, I have the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. I declare peace over my mind right now. You're not being presumptuous when you pray like this. You're actually praying in alignment with Scripture. You're praying God's promises back to him. You're using the creative power of words combined with the spiritual power of prayer. And that combination is unstoppable. But here's the key. You can't just pray powerful prayers and then speak weak words the rest of the day. You have to guard your mouth all the time. All the time. This isn't just about prayer. This is about every single word you speak. Your casual conversations, your self-talk, your complaints, your jokes, everything. Because everything counts. Every word is a seed. Every declaration is shaping your reality. Stop saying I'm so broke. Start saying I'm believing for financial increase. Stop saying I'm so tired. Start saying I'm getting stronger every day. Stop saying I'll never find love. Start saying the right person is coming at the right time. Stop saying I'm so dumb. Start saying I'm learning and growing every day. Stop saying nothing ever works out for me. Start saying things are working out for my good. Does this mean you ignore reality? Does this mean you pretend everything is perfect when it's not? No. That's toxic positivity, and that's not what I'm talking about. You can acknowledge where you are without declaring it as your permanent reality. There's a difference between I'm currently facing financial challenges, but I'm believing for breakthrough, and I'm always broke and I'll never have money. One acknowledges the current situation while declaring a better future. The other declares the current situation is permanent. You can be honest about your struggles without speaking them into permanence. You can recognize a problem without giving it power through your words. It's about shifting from complaining to declaring, from worrying to believing, from doubt to faith, and it starts with your words. Let me tell you something else. The people around you will try to get you to speak negatively. They'll want you to join in their complaining. They'll think you're weird when you start speaking differently. They'll say you're being fake or unrealistic. Don't let them pull you back down. Misery loves company. Negativity is contagious. But so is faith, so is positivity, so is life-giving speech. You might need to distance yourself from people who are constantly speaking death. People who only complain, people who only see problems, people who mock your faith. Because their words will influence your words, and your words create your reality. You can't afford to let other people's negative declarations contaminate your life. Surround yourself. People who speak life, people who pray powerful prayers, people who declare good things, people who see possibilities instead of just problems. Their faith will strengthen your faith. Their words will reinforce your words, and together you'll create a reality that reflects God's promises instead of the world's limitations. Now, here's something practical you can do starting today. Start paying attention to your words. Actually, listen to what you're saying. Most people speak on autopilot. They don't even realize what they're declaring over their lives. So become aware. When you catch yourself saying something negative, stop, correct it. Replace it with something life-giving. It'll feel awkward at first. You'll feel like you're lying to yourself, but you're not. You're declaring truth that hasn't manifested yet. You're speaking things that are not as though they are, which, by the way, is exactly what the Bible says faith does. Create declarations you can speak daily. Write them down. Say them out loud, especially in the morning when you wake up and at night before you sleep. These are the times when your subconscious mind is most receptive. Declare things like, today is going to be a great day. I am blessed and highly favored. Everything I touch prospers. I walk in divine health. I am confident and capable. God's favor surrounds me like a shield. Whatever applies to your life and aligns with God's promises. Speak it daily. Declare it consistently. Watch what happens. And when you pray, pray with authority. Don't beg God. Don't plead with him like he's reluctant to help you. He's not. He's a good father who wants to give you good things. But he's waiting for you to speak in faith. He's waiting for you to use the creative power he gave you. He's waiting for you to partner with him through your words. So pray boldly, pray confidently, pray declaratively, and then continue speaking those same things throughout your day. Here's what's going to happen when. Start doing this. At first, nothing might seem to change. You might feel like you're just saying words into empty space. That's normal. That's when most people quit. Don't quit. Seeds don't grow overnight, but they are growing under the surface. Your words are working even when you can't see the results yet. Keep speaking, keep declaring, keep praying. The breakthrough is coming. Then you'll start noticing small shifts. Your mindset will change. You'll feel more hopeful, more peaceful, more confident. That's your internal reality beginning to shift. Then external things will start changing. Opportunities will appear. Solutions will come. Doors will open. People will show up. Resources will manifest. And you'll realize that your words literally created the path for these things to come into your life. This isn't about earning God's favor through positive words. You already have his favor through Christ. This is about aligning your words with his will. This is about using the creative power he gave you to cooperate with what he's already trying to do in your life. He's speaking blessings. He's speaking breakthrough. He's speaking healing. He's speaking provision. Are you speaking the same thing, or are you contradicting him with your doubt, fear, and negative declarations? God is not going to force blessings on you while you're constantly speaking curses over yourself. He gave you free will. He gave you a tongue. He gave you creative power, and he's waiting for you to use it correctly. He's waiting for you to speak in agreement with him. He's waiting for your words to align with his words. Because when that happens, when heaven and earth agree, when God's promises and your declarations align, that's when miracles happen. That's when reality shifts. That's when your life transforms. So here's the moment of truth. Right now, you have a choice. You can keep living the way you've been living, keep speaking the way you've been speaking, keep praying those weak prayers, keep declaring negativity over your life, and you'll keep getting the same results you've always gotten. Or you can start today, right now, this moment. You can decide that from this point forward, every word that comes out of your mouth will be intentional. Every prayer will be powerful. Every declaration will be life-giving, and your reality will begin to shift. This is the turning point. This is where everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The moment you finish watching this video, the moment you step away from this screen, you need to make a decision. Are you going to keep creating a reality you don't want through careless words? Or are you going to start speaking life, speaking faith, speaking God's promises, and watching your entire world transform? Because here's what I know. The proof is everywhere. In science, in scripture, in real life testimonies. Your words are creating your reality. That's not a theory. That's not a maybe. That's a fact. The only question is, what reality are you going to create? One of lack or abundance? One of sickness or health? One of defeat or victory? One of fear or faith? Your tongue decides. Your words create. Your declarations manifest. Look, I get it. This seems too simple. How can just changing your words change your whole life? But that's the beauty of it. God's ways are not complicated. He gave you a mouth. He gave you creative power. He gave you the ability to speak things into existence. And he's been waiting for you to realize it and use it. Your words created by what you're experiencing right now, the good and the bad, and your words will create what you experience tomorrow. Stop speaking death. Stop praying doubt. Stop declaring defeat. Start speaking life. Start praying with authority. Start declaring God's promises. Be consistent. Be intentional. Guard your mouth like your life depends on it, because it literally does. And watch what happens. Watch how your mind changes. Watch how your circumstances shift. Watch how doors open. Watch how prayers get answered. Watch how your entire reality transforms, because your words are creating your reality. And now you have the proof.